Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's going to be a little bit of a boring video. I'm going to be changing the oil on this 2015 Jetta Mark 6. It's a TDI. I'm just going to go run through it. Should be pretty quick and easy. I'm not going to show you a whole lot of the details, but maybe it's the first time you've done it before and you might get something from this. So you won't need a lot for this. 10mm wrench. I think it's a 45 Torx. Or T45 and a T27. The T27s are for the splash shield in the bottom, and there's a couple of three big ones in the back. I use the 10mm for the drain on the bottom of the oil filter, or you can use this 30mm for the whole filter housing itself. Take the whole thing up as one piece. I'll show that a little bit later, and that's basically it. Not a whole lot more to it. Torques are very low on this. It's pretty straightforward, other than clearing some area out. That's about all there is to it. So for mine, the hardest thing to do is to get it up on the ramp. There's not a lot of clearance. I have to use these 2x4s just to give a little bit more slope so that I can get it up without scrubbing on the chin spoiler. So I get that set up and bring the camera back on once I've got it all lined up. Okay, the car's up on the ramp now. First thing you have to do is take a splash shield off the bottom. Whole bottom side of the car is enclosed, so I'll get some lights set up there and get that off. All around the side there's 5 in each side, T27s, and then the T45 on the back, and the splash shield's off. Prior to doing all this, I took the car into town, get it all warmed up. Really should be warmer than that. You should take it for a good 10-20 minute drive so the oil is good and warm. Just allow it to drain better, and it'll also flush out anything that's in the car as well. You can see got a little bit of extra work to do here. A little bit of leaves. It's fast. Amazing how fast summer passes by. But deal with that once we've got the splash shield off. Okay, so there's the bottom of the oil filter. You can see the 30mm nut, and then inside there's a 10mm or 12, I'm not sure, that takes the bottom, so I can drain the bowl separately. I don't bother with that. I just put the catch bin underneath and take the whole bottom bowl off. In order to get to it, you've got to move this little I'm not even sure what that is. I think it's a valve out of the way. This car has 2 circulating pumps to take away residual heat from the engine when it's shut off. And so that first one, there's just a 10mm bolt in behind. Probably can't see it from here, but it's right in behind that valve. And what I do is I run a little small bungee cord to pull it forward so I can get to the top of the bowl. Oh, and by the way, it's not 27mm Torx, they are 25mm Torx. I think that was the difference on the old Jetta I had. They were 25 and 27, but these are 25 for the 9 screws in the side. And little nut cert in here is all rusted out, so I got spares of those. I'll replace that at the same time. So turn the camera off. The drain plug is right there, so I'll get that out and I'll bring you back when I got the oil draining out of the bottom. So I keep plenty of these things around, screws and fasteners, automotive screws and fasteners, because they're always running them loose, and for some reason I have a tendency to lose these things. I don't know why. Oh. Okay, so you can see small little bungee holding back that valve. Now you can see the filter. Just got to loosen that bottom bowl off and drop the bottom filter element out. I've got the oil draining. It was a 19mm socket to get that out. And there's the little bracket that attaches onto the side of the block with a a little bolt, 10 millimeter head. And that gives you the clearance you need to get in there to take that part off. So again, I'm going to turn the camera off and lower that down, and I'll bring you back when I've got that loose. So I spent most of my time just trying to find my wrenches. I got a couple different projects going on. I don't know if I can do a few different hands here, but there's the bottom of the oil filter bowl, and it's got a fair bit of resistance on the threads. It's a plastic bowl, so that always worries me a little bit. So I always make sure I clean it off and lubricate it. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to move the camera so I don't get it full of oil. Then I'm going to lower it down enough so it also drips into the bowl. So I think I'm going to shut the camera off and set it aside so it doesn't get covered. Okay, I've got my controlled leak here. One thing I forgot to do is that wire that runs there, I'm going to maneuver all these tools and try to open up this little clip so that I can get this. There we go. A lot harder to do things single-handed. Just move that out of the way. It gives me a little bit more room so that I can get that bowl out, because that's actually the hardest part, especially with a clean filter. You don't want to touch it on any of the dirty parts, but to get that in nice and cleanly, or I should say not bump anything, you put any dirt on the filter when you put it in. So again, I'm going to let that slowly drain off, and I will bring the camera back when it's all drained. Okay, didn't get much this time, so I'm going to slowly take this out, make a mess in the garage. Oh, there it goes. That's why I didn't have it all the way. That's kind of when you want to do it slow. So I've got it oil plug at the back draining, got this running down the side of the motor, which I'll clean up afterwards, trying to minimize the amount of spills on the garage floor. So I'm just going to slowly let it drain out. Okay, see if I can get this out now. Really should have my latex gloves on for doing this, but and this filter is pretty long, so yeah, still get a bit of a mess in there. Too bad, dropped about a half a spoon. And there's the whole filter housing. Set that inside, deal with that in a second. And there is the inside of the filter housing. So I'm going to get a paper towel, wipe the inside of that up, and the next thing I've got to do is I've got to clean all this out, change the oil O-ring that's at the base, all comes with the filter, and put the new filter in, clean up the bottom of the motor there, put everything back together. Okay, so there's the filter bowl. Just get the old O-ring out. The new filter comes with the new O-ring. and a smaller O-ring for the drain. Like I said, I don't use that. Still can't really control the spills, so I just try to, it doesn't seem to make it any neater to get the job done. And then the new filter will simply snap down inside. See the little tabs on the bottom? That'll allow it to snap into the bowl in the bottom. So I'm going to clean out the inside. Windy day today, as you can hear in the background. I can clean out the inside a bit more, and I'll start putting it back together. I'll thread that back in and button it back up. Okay, a bit of brake clean on the inside and outside. Make sure it's good and dry. But that's why I use that. It evaporates real quickly. Open up the package here, put the new O-ring in. Oops, won't use that anyways. Put that in its groove, top groove. I'll put a little bit of oil on that before I insert it. And then I'll take the filter, snap that in, and now it's good to go. Got a few fingerprints on there, but not too bad. And I better pick up everything before it blows away. Okay. I'm going to try to freehand this now, but see, you got a bit of an obstacle course. Get this up and make sure I don't hit anything when I'm putting it inside there. Don't want to get in the filter. And I've cleaned out the inside of the housing as well. And that's it. So moving that other wires and the rest of the equipment other way as best you can. It just makes it that much easier to go in. And as I said, I put a little bit of oil on the threads in the O-ring. And just for information, it's this is again a 2015 Jetta TDI, 2.0 liter TDI, and it uses a 507 spec oil. It's a European spec oil, and it's a 0W30. Volkswagen is pretty particular about the type of oil they use. They do not want it anything else but that. The last Jetta I had was a 1.9 liter turbo diesel, and they had problems with the cams, so they switched to the 507 spec when used replacement cams, used a harder material. But this one seems fine. 240,000 on this one so far. The last one I had was 440. So I'm going to put down the camera so I can tighten this with both hands, and then I'm going to start putting back some of the pieces that I've moved out of the way, the wire and the little valve out of the way, so I can tighten this up. Now I'm going to put the drain plug back in. Now I forgot to get, and they don't normally put in the aluminum washer when you pick up a filter. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't. I forgot to ask this time they give them, so I'm going to try reusing this washer. That happened once before. It did start leaking right away, so I'll have to make sure I keep an eye on it. I'll clean up the drain plug, wipe off this washer, maybe get a bit more brake clean on it, and I'll put that back together.
Everyone, I lost the last bit of video. I hit the fast motion, or I should say slow motion button on the camera. Keep seeming to do that. I don't know why. It could be the remote control for the phone, but I wound up putting the motor back together. It's the reverse of taking it apart. That's putting the splash shield back on and the screws to secure it, and making sure you don't leave any loose. I think that's how I've lost a few in the past. And then cleaning the underside of the motor, the old oil with a little bit of brake clean, wiping out the bottom side, and putting that bracket back in place they showed you. Pretty straightforward stuff, just a reverse of what's done before. So the only thing else is the oil I used. As I said, it was 507 spec Volkswagen oil 0W30, which is specific this motor, recommended by the Volkswagen for it, but pretty straightforward. What I'm going to show you next is a little bit of a bonus video, which is just resetting the service inches light. So I apologize for finishing the video off this way. Things didn't go quite the way I expected, but again, it was pretty straightforward. And thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe, like, that sort of stuff, and maybe I can get another 995 subscribers and start getting money from YouTube. Thanks for watching. Okay, to reset the service button, you press and hold the trip button, and then you press the start button, then you release and you press the clear button, and it's done.
Do you want to do it again?
Can't now, I reset it. Why did I do it wrong? Or?
Oh, because I kind of went down to see the start button, but
That's
it's okay.
Let's see how it works now. Yep. I'm too efficient. You want to see it?